bit of a viewer discretion with this video. I'm in Ukraine, in Poltava this morning. I leave to go east. 2 nights ago, I was able to see Nika for 3 hours. She's on her way to a funeral, the last days of her leave, of a mutual colleague of ours from Lviv. And some of the things she talks about are not very, but that's reality.
Hi guys, my name is Lёша. I used to work with the Brandon in Kherson with Morska Piechota. Now I'm training with the new unit who will deploy it in Donbass very soon. Please help us in obtaining a Kazava car so we can continue our work. Thank you very much for your support, very appreciated, and Slava Ukraini!
Why is it that America is the only country that all the news companies have helicopters? Because they love a good chase and a crash. I need your help. How do you feel?
I sometimes don't even think if I do. Well, that's okay. That's kind of what you get when you can't stand pain anymore.
I go to Donbass and you go to Lviv.
Yeah, my only chance. I don't know if I'm going to have another vacation in van. So,
When was your last vacation?
half a year ago.
Half a year.
But I'm lucky that I got this one. After I got, after my command agreed to issue me a vacation, the vacations were prohibited, temporarily, but just because the situation isn't good enough to let people leave.
Not enough people, too many tasks.
Maybe.
I remember when you said, is it possible I get a truck? I don't expect this to happen. There's this woman from Arizona, Ali, who helps me with all my YouTube, and I don't make fun of you or anything. Like, it's not like I don't know how to properly express it, but I told us, like, Nika needs a truck, and Ali said, this will be an easy one. You know, and as a result of that paid for half a Dan Rebar's truck. That paid for another Ukrainian guy that in principle people care about, in principle, but it's pretty hard from 10,000 miles away. You know what I mean? And you say you don't feel anymore. I'm kind of scared I cut my own throat because I'm supposed to be a sane person on the internet for people to have faith and support me to do all this shit, to be a Rashala. But when you needed a truck, I haven't run in over a year. I used to be very fit when I come to your country, and I just decided on Christmas night, when people are supposed to be with their family and I'm back in Sweden, home alone, Masa is even away, to run a half marathon in the snow.
How much was it?
21 kilometers.
Oh.
And I don't run since full-scale invasion. Not a real. I was running in. I had nice war-life balance in Kherson because we don't work in the day. So I was running and listening to podcasts and shit. But I ran 7 half marathons in 10 days, and I raised $22,000. Your truck was not $22,000. It was like 13,000. It's a good truck. And then I said, oh, I can keep doing this. And I said, I'll run one for Andre West. And I mean, you know Andre, you met Andre during the beginning of the war, work with him. I said, I will help Andre. And then I ripped my hip flexor.
Oh.
And I can barely walk for 2 weeks. And now I don't run because, well, if it's not half marathon, what is the point to run 2 kilometers? That's so...
Well,
Yeah.
I still do run even like one. That's still an accomplishment. I started with it because I was so depressed that I like basically didn't like you start to exercise just not to die, not to get even fit, but then it gets better.
Just to keep from going to shit.
Yeah.
I was so impressed when, like, I was in Sweden last summer, and then I meet Kostya, I meet Gabriella, and I seen you could do like 20 pull-ups. You could do... I moved home. My body was so weak and tired, I could do 3.
Well, I now barely can do 8, but regularly 5, but that's like a huge accomplishment for me because I train like every day or most of the time.
One thing I didn't ask you about when we first went like on Basenia, Krashatik, what is it like for you to be a rota medic? Hospitalieri, you do medevac, you do casevac, you do stab work. But what is it like to live with 80 guys and be there? I don't even know.
Well,
You're 80 guys.
It was definitely hard and tough, but I, to be honest, didn't even realize how much exhausting it was back then because I didn't even think of anything else for me possible. I just saw it as a task I had to do, and only when my health started severely declining, I knew that maybe I should stop, but I still wasn't feeling good about myself to leave the positions, and that was when I accidentally said to my commander that I now need a shrapnel and go to the hospital, and he said, okay, now Nika, you can stop because you're now not going to stay in the position anymore because you're not getting a shrapnel to get to the hospital, you're just getting to the hospital. And
you went to the hospital?
Yeah, I wish the doctors could just do something to fix me, but they couldn't because it was just a like deterioration of chronic condition.
Did you have lung infections as well from living in the basements in the root cellars? Or?
Yes, I did, and I consumed a lot of antibiotics. But
Amoxiclav?
yeah, but it stops working when you use it too much. But I managed to keep my airways kind of not in bad shape. Like I would treat it when it starts, and I got issues that cannot just be fixed in 5 days with antibiotics, or cannot be just trained by muscles on a bar. And unfortunately I had to switch position from assault platoon to medical one, which is surprisingly my place because I have medical education.
Is you know, like I've spent a lot of time underground since last time we see each other, and when you have a nice place like we had with 35 Brigade for months, it's nice because it can take a shell and it's dry, it's a little bit warmer, it's a little bit less cold, and but my breathing is fucked, like and now it's like I'm following. It's like I'm trying to follow in your path, get civil qualifications, because I'll come back here permanently, and I don't know if I have the physical strength to. Of course, I have physical strength for 1 month, 2 months, but it just goes. It goes like
Yeah.
little bit, and like I want to be a felcher. It's like I work good for anesthesiologist. I have worked great for. I don't know what it is about me and anesthesiologist. Probably because I can get any drug, but it's really hard, and I want to do something and do it good, but to know that I can do it for a long time.
That makes sense.
I missed you.
Likewise.
This is really weird. It's not weird. It's just awkward because we've had 2-3 hours together, but it's like it was this supermarket right here. I made a video once and you beat the shit out of me. Nika's the future. Nika, it's not true. And you punched me in the stomach.
That's not true.
But you're smart and you're good. And
That's all related.
do you find it annoying that people who don't even know you assume all these things about you?
Well, definitely not, because...
And they're all good things. It's not like Nika's a bitch.
Because assuming good is always good, and I also do assume good about people, so... that's... can sometimes be a bit of a pressure on me, because I don't want to abandon people, and I sometimes just fail
to meet the
expectations of my own expectations, like for instance, I am a very clean person. Like I admire order and everything being spotless, but when my depression goes bad, I just cannot make even a move to get out of the bed or whatever bed it is, not even to mention washing dishes, and especially when you don't have water out of the tap. And even people who live with me, they can in different period of my mental state just don't recognize me, and that is why, of course, I try to be good, but I'm not always good.
Do you ever think that, like, I thought to myself, you came home, like, this is how I relate to me. You went to Slovakia first, yes? And then you're like, screw this, I go home. And you come to serve. And you and me both have some of the same health problems with our stomach. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I mean, I will find out how bad it is next week. But
well, I have just regular ulcer. Like, it's just stress, coffee, energy drinks, stress, coffee, energy drinks.
That's the Ukraine diet: stress, coffee, energy drinks. But
Well,
you don't have cigarettes. You're missing cigarettes.
Well, I do have a bunch of painkillers, which do also destroy stomach.
Do you feel, though, this is what I come to a theory, it's more painful to not do the right thing than to go through the pain of the shitty situation of doing the right thing. Your inside soul, this is the way I feel. If I don't do the right thing, if I'm doing bad things, lying, cheating, this is why I used to drink and do drugs, because I was doing bad things. So I would drink and do drugs to feel less, and I would do. If I don't follow my soul, and sometimes it costs me a lot of opportunity and success in life, I hurt very deeply.
I guess I relate. I don't think that even all of my sacrifices are right sacrifices, but if I believe they are right, I will not happily exist if we don't do that.
I don't know. It's just a theory I've always had. Like, when good people do good things, why do they do good things when it's going to hurt them? But you do good things, and I won't keep you any longer, but I need to buy EcoFlows, and I've got a lot of work to do over the next week, and I don't know when I'm going to see you again. And like it or not, people love you.
I do love them too.
I don't know how my social media, it started in Le Monske Regon with you and me, and all of a sudden people were, I wanted 10 generators for Christmas. The biggest thing was I got blown up. That was the best thing I did. But then when you came, it turned into over 100 diesel generators. So it was I don't know, it's you've lived on positions before, and it's like the basis to any Stabik, the basis to anything, the basis to drones, which is the real answer, it's power.
Yeah.
So just you being on here, I don't want to sound too cocky, people care, people want to know about you. You just paid for 5 EcoFlows. If my history continues on social media the way it did.
It's weird being in civilian clothes in your car, but...
Well, we're not LARPs. You know what is LARP?
No.
LARP is, it's usually American. It can also be Ukrainian, and they're not in the army, and they wear a uniform in Lviv and Kyiv. Americans do it the best. British are second best at LARPing. They have a lot of them have big muscles too. I have no big muscles. I'll get you to your bus so you can get to the funeral, and I'll get the EcoFlows. I'll get them to Tilda, and you can have as many as you want.
Thanks.
Thank you. It's fucking weird, isn't it? The internet. I don't know how this works, but thank you guys.
I'm more weird.
Yeah, you are pretty weird. Oh, look at it in all its glory, the Dimitri Mobile. Anyway, I've got to take this chariot to Tilda. I've got 2 diesel generators, I've got 3 EcoFlows. Get off to the boys, and a lot of work to do in a few short days before I have my MRI. I've got to come to Ukraine to get medical help. Think about that. I really use your support, guys, and we've got 1 truck and a hell of a lot of EcoFlows to buy till Christmas. For those that are still watching, I have always been blessed by support from the professional Ukraine war bloggers, but more and more I cannot watch their content. I don't criticize them. What they do is absolutely right, and objectively, much of it is true to the best of their knowledge, but is not reflective of reality of this war. In Kyiv, or places where people do not participate in the war, and there are many who try to avoid this in any way, they might talk about Paramoy, victory. I don't go to Ukraine rallies in Sweden, but much like social media, people make comments and sing about democracy or upholding democratic values. I don't think about this for a second. I think about my friend Nika with her declining health. Losha, at the first of the video, he has a 10-year-old daughter in Portugal. I will go see my friend Maxime today, and he was discharged from the army in February, and he has his arms, he has his legs, he has most of his health, and his daughter will have her father. So this is my motivation, yeah, I don't bullshit you. I never did. I heard someone say recently, I watched their short on their YouTube, that they were hiding from artillery when the sirens go. There's no siren past Pavlograd. What would be the point? If you're in artillery range, what is the point? Don't lie. Don't lie.
I'm in a $50 hotel right now in Poltava, and I had as good of a sleep as I can have, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just do your work, get on with it, show the proof of your work and the result. And if you can and you know the people, show the people, so people at home will know. You care and love Nika, but there's so many good people, just like Nika. I don't stop. I will not stop. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.